Zabsi. I wonder if this is the future of the country. If when I say good afternoon, everyone, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Afternoon. How are you? We're doing very well. My name is Letlhogonolo Maimane, and I come from the Council of South African Industrialists, which participated in the 2019 BRICS Energy Outlook, which we call it the BRICS Youth Energy Outlook. Now, what I'm going to share is going to be part and parcel of what I'm going to share, is going to be my experience and also a bit of an explanation of the significance of BRICS within South Africa at the present moment. Yesterday, just yesterday, Stats SA announced that our economy contracted by 1.4%, and about 2 weeks before yesterday, they did confirm that unemployment went up by 0.1%, which means that we are almost reaching 30%. Now, that tells you something totally different, that there's a crisis in the country, and anyone who does not want to acknowledge that there's a crisis in the country is just myopic. Now, what creates the crisis? And I'm going to do this just to give a bit of context to the BRICS issue. Part and parcel of the contraction of industry was the issue of energy. A lot of companies are now saying, hey, we even want to charge South Africa because we have energy shortages. Now, what does the BRICS consortium present? It presents us with an opportunity, not only to deepen our network and for me to have a Russian friend called Alex. It assists us to be able to deepen our research output. By research output, what do we mean? Everyone is busy saying, hey, we need an energy mix, we need an energy mix. We need to intensify to what extent do we need an energy mix. The viability and the feasibility of energy mix is very important. BRICS Youth Energy Agency comes at a time where in South Africa there's a mismatch between policy and reality. And that mismatch is often expressed in load shedding. We all experience load shedding. That's the mismatch. Now, we need, at a particular point in our lifetime, need to acknowledge that there's a crisis because there's a mismatch. Now, how do we address this mismatch? BRICS Youth Energy Agencies, our Jesus, has just answered us. Research, research, research. But how does BRICS Youth Energy differ from the University of Stellenbosch and the University of Johannesburg? It presents an opportunity to have ideas that are formulated that can be, commercialized, without the formal bureaucracies that universities present. Because universities, when you go to them, and it's something that we often say in our dialogues, that the solutions of South Africa are lying in some desk, somewhere in some library gaining dust, because of the universities imposing some sort of restrictions on commercialization of the intellectual property. Now, the BRICS Youth Energy Agency presents us with that opportunity to create research that can be commercialized. Now, how does it also come into effect, and it's also important in South Africa? It's important because there is a growing environmental concern, which also says that we need to take away the method of burning coal. That is why last year, when we did our research, we focused our research on clean coal technology as a viable source, as an alternative source to the energy mix. Now, how does this assist South Africa? It assists South Africa in expanding our energy research basin. Now, in explaining also further, how does this assist? The BRICS formation in nature is formed by both developing, and I want to say developed with quotation marks because I'm not sure China is developed, but hey, there are issues there. You can see that they're killing us now. So you don't know what's happening. Both this developed and developing countries, they present an opportunity, right? Because BRICS countries, all of them combined, if you look at the resources that they have, those who are fascinated with nuclear, I mean, this BRICS bloc contains the largest uranium content in the world, by far. Those who are obsessed with nuclear, they need to side with BRICS very soon so that they can be able to facilitate the thing of nuclear very fast. So BRICS as an entity assists us to further contribute to what we call the flexible curriculum or the multidisciplinary approach. For an example, by qualification, I did LLB, but I'm busy with energy things. By qualification. And I'm not yet by training a lawyer, but by qualification, I studied LLB, but I managed to tap into the market of energy, which in a way is narrowly, reserved for scientists and your engineers. But as a person who studied law, I ventured into that market. So the BRICS Youth Energy Outlook offers us also an opportunity to benchmark how to create a multidisciplinary curriculum, taking into cognizance the arrival of the fourth industrial revolution that's on everyone's lips nowadays. So the BRICS Youth Energy Outlook, it's going to assist us, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to assist us in creating a better research output to influence proper and rational policy decision making. Because if there is something that we have in this country that's a problem, it's the relationship between logic and policy making. Now, how does this also further assist us? It assists us, colleagues, in accelerating development, infrastructure development, and also capacitating the state to be a state that can take care of its people. Another part of this is that the BRICS Youth Energy Agency, as I conclude, moderator, the BRICS Youth Energy Agency, it also influences civil society to take proactive steps towards changing the narrative of energy. For an example, there's an organization that I'm part of, which is called Kwetso Foundation. We have now assembled a model to speak about the reindustrialization of previously industrialized areas in the Northwest Province, which were owned by the NWDC. That is the type of innovation that this BRICS brings to our people. Reindustrializing those areas means that we're going to also further expand on the research that we're doing here to also change the lives of our people. The mines in the Northwest, how do you go and attend to them to ensure that they benefit our people? So in essence, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to give a long speech like my diplomatic counterpart from Russia, but the importance of BRICS, and I urge everyone in this room, should you know of a student who's interested in energy, encourage them to be part of this collective. Because this is where a lot of the solutions of this country are going to be crafted. Young South Africans are researching there in their little pockets, in their little corners, but there's no solid basin where we all come together and create a repository and deposit there and have solutions that are sustainable for our country. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, before you start clapping hands, and I can see people are hungry, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your comments and the outlook that you give it to us. I try to be very careful now about China because it's part of the BRICS, and when we talk about BRICS, China is part of it. But because two of you mentioned it, I need to just be like a diplomat and say something. Never compare yourself with other country without full windows open. Yes, the China make the factory or make the hospital or anything. Not in 10 days, in 1 day you can do it too. But they give, the people in that country give up a lot of things. Are you going to give up the free internet, no Facebook, no WhatsApp, no Google, no nothing to reach that point? You have a free of speech in this country. And so they had in some states, some pressure that you don't have. So never compare yourself with China or try to do that type of the connection between them. Anyhow, I like to ask our next presenter, Miss Mamat Sharanga. I hope I'm going to say it right. She's gonna speak about and share the opinion about the South Africa approach to the agenda, make the conclusions concerning the yacht energy in the BRICS area. We'll give her own opinion on the BRICS Young Energy Outlook and the DMR's recommendations. Please, thank you.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I always greet in my language when I want attention. Okay, I forgot that I'm far away from home. so at least people will know much about my language in Masiarawe. My responsibility here is just to confirm that we support the BRICS Youth in Energy initiatives, and if I need to be stopping, and I can just say we pledge our support, that's all, as Department of Minerals and Energy. But at least let me just give you I was trying to check what is happening with the youth in energy, in the energy sector. I realized that World Economic Forum published the article in 2015 where they wanted to check how can the energy sector engage young people. Then they indicated that youth in the energy sector, or young people really, they want to be involved in the energy sector, and they really work hard to be there and to make a difference. They try by all means, but there are two barriers that were indicated there. The barrier, first barrier is the access to reliable information, and the second one is the lack of forum for engagement. This I can relate very well from, I forgot to introduce myself. Okay, this is the great opportunity for me to introduce, because I also wanted to tell you how we do our things at the Department of Minerals and Energy. My name is Winima Macharaga. I'm the acting Director, Community Upliftment. We coordinate the mainstreaming of women, youth, and people with disability in the energy sector. So that is where that's why I said it's an opportunity for me to introduce myself. What we do, the same challenge that young people in the energy sector are experiencing is the same challenge that we experience with women in the energy sector. Those that have been moving with us will know that since 2015 we have been moving around, since 2014 we've been moving around the country informing women about opportunities in the energy sector, so that at the end of the day they should get inspired and join the energy sector and be part of the energy sector. So this is the same challenge that we are experiencing with young people, and with the women in the energy sector. At least we have made strides. We are at a certain level where we have already we have the information, we have shared the information, we have created the platforms like the Women in Energy database where we share information, and we can at least now be able to say that we have so many number of women that are part of the energy sector. So I think even with the youth in the energy sector, we will have to do the same so that they can get this information in the energy sector, so that they can also have the platform for engagement. Not that we have not been doing anything. We have had the youth in energy dialogues, but even with that as a platform, it was still difficult to get young people to be involved. I don't know how you can attest to that even now, that here we have organized a meeting for them or a conference for them, but you will compare yesterday and today and realize that today is not as full as yesterday. So I think it's one thing that we will have to go all out and be able to work on it, so that they can get a buy-in and be able to get information and join the engagement. And then with regard to the we from the unit or from the department, we start the engagement of young people from the lower level, from the high school level. We have got different programs. One of the some of the programs are school energy days, where we invite grade 11, grade 9, 10, 11, and inform them about career opportunities in the energy sector, so that at the end of the day they should study energy careers, postgraduate, be entrepreneurs, be academics, be, to that highest level. And then also we have another program called Learners Focus Week, where it's for grade 11 and 12, where we focus on those that are ready to go to the universities and prepare them, and also invite the stakeholders like energy companies to be part of the program, and they pledge or they offer bursaries so that the learners can study energy. And we also had the Youth in Energy dialogues. Now, I think from what we have been doing, we had this missing link of the academics, of the research part, which I would say that at least the BRICS Youth in Energy initiative, it has come at the right time, so that we can also bridge that gap and take the revolution forward, and as a department we'll be able to support that. We have heard from our president during his SONA. He elevated youth matters to that highest level to say that we need to do something. Memarawa and also the CEO of the NYDA indicated that, they did put that into the picture to say that the president is very serious, and we as a department or as government, we also need to be serious to support that. There are initiatives that have been done before today or before this, our engagement with BRICS Youth in Energy sector. In 2018, the department organized a workshop, BRICS workshop, where it was held in the Western Cape universities, where they sit down and be able to discuss about the energy revolution and how to assist as BRICS country to secure to foster energy security and also to be part of the global economic growth. And then in 2019, that's where we started our engagement with BRICS Youth in Energy sector, in the BRICS Youth in Energy with Alexander. And then since then, some of the universities managed to attend the summit, as he indicated, and also were represented by NYDA. And then also the ministers of energies, BRICS energy ministers, they had their summit last year, and they agreed that really it is high time that the BRICS energy ministers take this step forward. And then they also agreed that the issue of energy security hold common interest, and it's a win-win situation for the countries. Therefore, they should be complementary strategies to ensure that we foster energy security and also to stimulate economic growth as BRICS countries. So that is where you as young people come in, and where you need to join the BRICS Youth in Energy and come up with the research and studies that will be able to take us forward. So as a Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, we will be there to support you together with NYDA and coordinate all the initiatives. Last but not the least, I would also like to encourage you to say that as young people, you need to take this advantage of these opportunities. Dr. Yumkela indicated that today we are experiencing load shedding, but you must be able to say to yourself that we are experiencing load shedding this time, but in future we won't be able to experience load shedding. He also spoke of the energy miracles by Bill Gates, and it is indicated there that miracles will not just come. It will only come if you are participating. And here is the great opportunity for you to participate in the outlook of the country, and you will be able to stand and say that, you see, we had load shedding, but this time we don't have load shedding because of the research or the study that was done and contributed to the BRICS countries. And also take this advantage of the opportunity where you have to connect with others so that you can move forward and let your voice heard. Thank you.
I really blow up with all of this support that I see, because I didn't know that this amount of support is happening at the moment at the background. Most of us at the university, we're just doing the research and send the fund and send the student out, but we never engage with all those support and stuff. And also I'd like to thank, especially for the women support that I see in South Africa and at the moment what's happening at the university stage too. I remember when we were young, when we discussed about what we should study further, we said, no studying in engineering, we just go into art and all this stuff. And when we say why, I said, no girls there, it's going to be boring. At the moment, we have more girls than a boy at the department in the master and PhD level. So thank you so much, and I'm so happy for seeing that type of engagement and happening in South Africa. I'm gonna open the panel for discussion and question. If anyone have any question, please raise your hand so that we can engage and discuss more in depth. Yeah, I can see all of you trying to say, okay, we should go home. If you don't have any question, I'm gonna give the panel another claw hands, and we're gonna give it to the member discussion. Any question? Yep.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Theodore Chibangu Chiswaka. I just wanted to ask a question about the BRICS Youth Energy Program. Is it only for South African, or even if you are from outside of South Africa, you can take part of the project? Thank you.
Yeah, so the project is for all the youth from South Africa between 25 and 35 years old. We have limited this age simply because of regulation that we could sponsor your coming to Russia to the BRICS Youth Summit where the presentation takes part. But generally, yes, it's for all South African youth, as agreed with the NYDA and the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy in August as part of the roadshow of the agency of this country.
So it means if they belong to other African countries, but they study here, they cannot do any research or involvement?
In regard to other countries?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So last year, okay, in regard to the outlook, yes, currently other countries from Africa do not participate in the outlook simply because the framework is defined, so BRICS as a community of countries, so 5 countries. In regard to the participation, last year it was really interesting that we included BRICS Plus sessions. It means that we invited 3 partnering countries. We selected delegates from Egypt, from Syria, and I guess from Turkey. So, talking about BRICS Plus, next year we're also going to include such kind of sessions, and out of the number of bursaries that we will be distributing, we will also take into account the candidates from other African countries. So it's really up to you, up to your activeness. If you apply, it will be considered. So everyone has a chance to take part in the program. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Any other question? Can you please give another hand of applause? Wrap up if you like.
Yeah, I think maybe just to drive a final point home. I think one of the key factors of our research last year of the energy that I forgot to mention is that research needs to make sense to locals. It does not make any practical sense if it does not reach the person in Kailicha, in Langa, in the rural townships and the villages. So if the research is going to be research that is informed by another class perspective, then we're going to find ourselves with another load shedding schedule. So whatever we do, whatever we come to as researchers, as young researchers, needs to make practical sense to the layman on the ground.
Thank you so much.